Right guys, so I'm just about to start a shift at McDonald's and I'm going to tell you about my experience being diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. And personally I think Asperger's syndrome, I don't really agree with it. I think these psychologists, they're quite lazy, they just throw labels at people, and oftentimes the real problem is a lot more complex than they think it is. So when I was 10, I got diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome at Tala Hospital in South Dublin. And why did they diagnose me with Asperger's syndrome and autism? Back then I had a below average IQ, as I still do now. I had bad social skills. The reason I had bad social skills was, well, number one, below average IQ, my communication skills my verbal skills were, below average. I was diagnosed by adults, and of course I didn't feel comfortable around adults back then because, in my school where I went, either they hate low IQ students, or number two, they weren't even aware that I had low IQ. And I honestly think that reason number two is the most likely, based on, my parents and some of my other teachers when I was in secondary school. And the reason I had a low IQ, I mentioned it in my previous video. Malnutrition, down to having too many fluids in my stomach. All the food I was eating was being dissolved in my stomach. And I mentioned I've been on the fluid restriction plan for like 10 and a half months, and I've noticed a massive improvement in my level of intelligence. But I still feel like my IQ is still below average, so I'm going to keep working. I'm trying to improve my level of intelligence even further, because my sister got 490 points in the Leaving Cert, and she got into one of the top universities in Ireland, being NUI Galway. So I feel like I have the ability to get to that level of intelligence, but it's going to take a while, you know what I mean? Listen, I think teachers just need to do a better job, you know what I mean? Psychologists, I don't really trust them. I believe you should try to use your own intuition. Like even the students in my classmates who were young kids, they were intelligent enough to realize that I had a low IQ. Teachers were not, and that's just that's embarrassing. And you gotta get to the root cause of the problem, because when I was 12, I did an IQ test, and I can't remember what score I got. I don't think they told me, but at a parent-teacher meeting, my teacher told my parents that I had the reading age of an average 9-year-old, and I was 12 at that stage. And they said the reason for that is because I'm not reading enough books. Okay, and I've learned from experience that you can only improve your level of intelligence by so much by studying. You know what I mean? So you can't make a person who's mentally disabled highly intelligent just reading. For me it was that nutrition that needed to be improved. I need to fix my digestive system, which is what I'm in the middle of doing. So I feel like these people, these psychologists, they've just been dumbed down so much. And I think society does that. They see, the intellectuals, the high IQ individuals as being a potential threat. So they do what they can to dumb them down. I've heard of office workers, white collar office workers who they spend 8 hours a day at a computer, but they do like half an hour of work in the entire day. That I call that dumbing them down, because they're just bored out of their minds. There's not enough work for them to do. And personally, I think there's too many white collar jobs nowadays, not enough manufacturing jobs. But that's kind of that's going off topic a little bit. So you just sometimes the most obvious explanation to the problem is the correct one. I think people nowadays are just trying to be too smart about everything. You know what I mean? Like I mentioned, I got the IQ score of 70. That means I'm mentally disabled. There, it's black and white, and my mother, who was there with me for that assessment, she still didn't get it, She just says, "Oh, that's not accurate." Well, it can't be that inaccurate. it is possible that if you get an IQ score of 70, you might have like a genuine level of intelligence of an IQ of 80. But that's the best case scenario. On the other side, your genuine level of intelligence could be even further below 70. So you gotta look at it from both angles. And yeah, I don't know. Really, these teachers these days, they shouldn't be allowed to teach. They don't have a clue.